Florida State is running away with it right now, at least in the state of Florida. The Noles are undefeated after beating the Miami Hurricanes on Saturday. And at the same time, the Florida Gators season continues to spiral as they lose to LSU in bowl eligibility, maybe slipping. But then you got FSU. They're 10-0 and looking to add some big pieces to their 24 class before National Signing Day. In this video, we got Director of Recruiting here at On3, Chad Simmons, to dish on Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, LJ McCray, all the 5 stars that were on campus and happen to be committed to other programs. They were in Tallahassee this weekend. We're going to talk about it all. Subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel, though. I need you guys to be a part of this thing, so smash that subscribe button for me. All right. Let's bring on the man of the hour, Chad Simmons, Director of Recruiting here at On3. And Chad, you've been working the phones this morning, talking to some of these guys that are leaving Tallahassee. Let's start right here with Jeremiah Smith. Now, he's committed to Ohio State. We know that. But the 3 teams that are trying to flip him are the in-state Florida teams, Florida State, and Miami. Do you think right now, coming out of this weekend, FSU, if anybody's going to flip him, has the best shot?
Yes. Simple answer, yes. I've said, I think for a couple of months, I think if there is a threat, a real threat to Ohio State, I think it's Florida State. They did nothing to hurt their chances with that this weekend. Obviously beating, in-state rival school Miami 27-20, one of the best atmospheres maybe this season anywhere in college football. Every recruit I've talked to that was there in Tallahassee raved about the fan base, the crowd, the war chant, everything in between there. So I think Florida State's very much in the mix. They'll get that last official visit in December, right before signing day. That's been planned for some time. Nothing has changed there. And I think FSU did all the right things on and off the field this weekend with Jeremiah Smith.
Now, do you think that he needs to come back to campus for FSU really to have a shot to close this one out?
I would probably say no. Obviously, he's been there so many times, Josh. I'm not sure what questions maybe are still there to be answered for him, his family, or his camp, but obviously it doesn't hurt. If you're Florida State, you want that last official visit. You want that last FaceTime with him before he puts the pen to the paper on December 20th. So it only helps their chances to get him back right before signing day. But is it needed? I wouldn't say so.
All right, some interesting news with Cam Coleman. The team that he's committed to, Texas A&M, decided to change coaches and fire Jimbo Fisher today. So you spoke to Cam Coleman this morning. What did he sound like when you talked to him?
He sounded like Cam Coleman. Not a lot of emotion, just a very mellow tone guy. I think a little bit surprised when the news first came out this morning that he might be fired, talking Jimbo Fisher. Obviously, it's been made official now, and he's well aware of that, and it's something that he had his eye on pretty much all day. But, Cam definitely is not leaving any boxes unchecked. He's taking visits to Florida State this weekend. He's been to Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Colorado. So, look, he's definitely keeping his options open. But right now, he's still committed to A&M. But other schools very much are in this mix.
Where would you put FSU in that group of teams that you just mentioned?
I'd put probably Auburn and Florida State. We talked last week about different tiers for the recruit, Tier 1, Tier 2 with Bryce Underwood. I think Tier 1 would be Florida State and Auburn. I think going back to when he committed back in July 4th to A&M, Auburn and Florida State were the top 2 at that time. A&M kind of surprised some people. I think it would surprise some people now if they hold on to Cam Coleman. Obviously, we have to wait and see who's hired there as the head coach, if there's relationships there with Cam Coleman or anyone in his camp. But I think right now Auburn and Florida State are maybe once again set to battle this out for Cam Coleman.
Yeah, the next couple of weeks in Cam Coleman's recruitment are going to be vitally important to that one. All right, let's talk about another 5-star flip target on campus. That's defensive lineman LJ McCray. This one was interesting to me because he was in Tallahassee just 2 weeks after choosing the Gators over the Seminoles. So what do you make of LJ McCray showing up in Tallahassee this weekend?
Yeah, LJ's a fun one to cover, man. He pushes this visit to go in with his teammate, Zay Mincy. Hey, I'm just here with him, and stuff like that. But look, there's been communication between McCray and the Florida State coaching staff, since he committed to the University of Florida. look, there was a lot of buzz, 4, 5, 6 days out around Florida State before McCray made his announcement. It came down to Florida State and Florida. Auburn was very much in this as well. But I think, Florida has to be a little leery of Florida State. Him going back, I'm hearing there's a chance he goes back at least one more time between now and the early signing period. He's been there many times. He has some connections in that Tallahassee area as well. And the way they're playing on the field, you can't deny what FSU is doing, 10-0 under Mike Norvell in the college football playoff as we stand today. And he's taking notice of that. FSU is not giving up. They're not waving the white flag, and Florida State still is very much in this race.
Yeah, thought it was interesting. Just 2 weeks after that commitment to the Gators, he shows back up at FSU. I think just put that one to the side. FSU fans, keep an eye on it before signing day. There could be some fireworks there. All right. The last 5-star flip I want to talk to you about is Jamie French. He committed to Alabama a couple weeks ago. He's 5-star. He's from the 2025 class, but he's just 2 hours down the road right there in Jacksonville, Florida, and he was in Tallahassee this weekend. Do you think, and they're probably going to play the long game on this one, but does FSU have a shot at flipping Jamie French?
I think very much. Obviously, 2025, we're still a year plus away from when he has to sign those papers, obviously, Josh. So I think Florida State getting him back on campus for a game of that magnitude, in-state rival Miami with other elite recruits in that 24 and 25, even 2026 class. I mean, he was around guys that are going to play there, commitments, guys that will end up committing there in the 25 or 26 class, guys that he knows really well. He spoke to a lot of commits, some players there at Florida State, had some time with Mike Norvell and Ron Dugans as well. And I said in Simmons Scoop just about a week or so ago, if there was a school to watch with Jamie French, I think it is Florida State. And I still feel that way. Even he confirmed that on Sunday morning, speaking with him, that FSU is that team right behind Alabama. Now, Alabama, we know, is very tough to beat. They're one of the best programs in the country. He's very aware of what they've done with wide receivers, but seeing what they do at Florida State now with Coleman, Johnny Wilson, how they throw the ball and how they're winning, I think says a lot about where they're at in this race with Jamie French.
Yeah, winning is generally the best tool to use on the recruiting trail. Speaking of the recruiting trail, you've been on the phone with these guys all morning, talking to a lot of players that were in Tallahassee. What's the buzz on 10-0 FSU right now?
I think the majority are just saying that Mike Norvell, is doing what he said he was going to do. I heard that last week. I've heard that today. I heard that Saturday night after the win from recruits, is that Norvell was very upfront with these guys in that 24, 25 class about, hey, give me some time. Give me time to build this class, build this roster, recruit the right players, the high school kids, the portal kids, and let me put my plan and show you how it's going to come together. And it's doing that. And I think the biggest thing about this season, Josh, we've seen Florida State maybe not play the best they could play, but find a way to win football games. In the past, they would lose those games, the teams they shouldn't lose to. Now they can play average or just solid and beat teams, and then play great and dominate teams and still be now 10-0 instead of something like 6-4, 7-3, and losing to teams they shouldn't lose to. Norvell has the roster in good shape. He's recruiting great players from high school and the portal, and he's winning big football games, putting them in position now to challenge for ACC championship and a national championship.
Yeah, I agree. Florida State found ways to lose games early in Mike Norvell's tenure. Now they're finding ways to win games, and it's showing on the recruiting trail. FSU sitting with a top 5 class in 2024 and looking for more. A couple 5-star flips could be on the way. Chad Simmons, thanks for dropping by today on the Inside Scoop. Appreciate you.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.